Remember, top producers are doing this type of thing. They are sticking to their calendar. They are making sure it happens. And the only way they can continue generating more business is putting time into their calendar to actually bring more business in. Now let's talk about a day in the life. What should your day look like as a real estate agent when you're realistically trying to achieve these goals? What should it look like? This is an example of how to schedule our day. So I already told you, I'm really big on my calendar. If it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist. I want to make sure that everything is going to be in my calendar. Pro tip, if you are not a digital calendar user, I highly recommend figure out a way that you can be. Google Calendar is super easy because really everybody uses it. So if you don't have anything, start with Google Calendar. You can get it on your phone, you can get it on your computer, but one of the beauties of having a digital calendar is you set it once, you set it as a recurring event, and then it's always in your calendar. You always know that you're going to be doing this. All right, so what we're doing, and this is basically Monday through Friday, what we're going to be doing from 8:30 to 9 for half an hour is we're prepping. We're going to be getting everything ready for making our calls. Maybe we're going to be doing some door knocking. So we're printing out flyers, we're getting everything set, we're putting on the right shoes to wear to do some door knocking, whatever it is. If we're making those calls, we're getting our call list. If we are going to be creating some postcards to send out, we're getting stuff ready for that and really prepping it to be ready to rock and roll at 9 a.m. So from 9 to 11 for 2 hours a day, we're doing marketing and business generation. That is also known as lead generation. So we could do marketing materials, we could be writing a newsletter, we could be doing social media, but we're generating business. We're trying to get business to come to us. So what that means is that if we have a current escrow happening and they call to say, hey, Brittany, I need you to come and figure out how to get this buyer to agree to my request for repair or something like that, and you're doing your marketing and business generation, you're not going to answer that phone call. You're going to wait until you're doing business follow-up. So at that time, you're going to be checking your emails, seeing what came through from escrow, seeing what title sent you, seeing what your TC is asking. And what you'll realize is that very often, stuff that comes through up here or last night or whatever, very often it gets taken care of. Because when you're in a transaction, you have your escrow officer, their assistants, you have your TC, you have the title people, you have so many people who are in these group emails that one person asks a question, and while you're busy getting more leads and getting more business, that question has already been answered by somebody else. All you need to do during this business follow-up is check and say, oh, yep, it got answered, great, move on. Or maybe you need to take a few minutes to answer what they're asking. Get what they need. Maybe you need to call your client and say, hey, here's the update. But this is the time you do it. Remember, we need to protect our calendar. So often people do not do this, but when you're in a listing appointment, are you going to pick up the phone because another client calls you? No, absolutely not. When I'm doing this, I'm not picking up the phone if a client calls me. I have everything on Do Not Disturb. I'm going to wait until I'm done with this, and then I'll be able to follow up and do some business follow-up. Then from 12 to 1, we're going to build in some time for lunch. So we need to build in some time to actually do this because you will be surprised at how quickly your day goes and how easy it is to not fuel your body. From 1 to 2, we're going to do some lead conversion. So those people who are calling back or that stuff the business that you generated up here, if you need to call and set those appointments, that's during that time. We're doing appointment setting. We're going to try and say, hey, we talked last week and I wanted to know, are you ready to have a buyer's consultation, a seller's consultation? Let's sit down and get it on the calendar. That's lead conversion. We're converting them into clients. Then we have business servicing, which again is going to be the same kind of thing as our business follow-up. So we're going to be servicing any business that comes in or that we need to do, Like if they say, hey, I need you to go and make an appointment for the inspector, this is your time block for doing that. Then from 3 to 6, we want to set a time block for our appointments. We want to make sure that our appointments have time so that when people call, we know, oh, I have 3 to 6 every day available for these appointments. If you have no appointments scheduled, guess what? We get to do more marketing and business generation. Because if we have no appointments, that means we need to generate more business. And then 6 p.m. on is your personal time. And again, you're creating your life. So whatever you want that to look like, if that looks like 5 o'clock, if that looks like 4 o'clock, if that looks like 7 o'clock, whatever that is, you schedule it and you create your calendar to be able to fit into your life. Remember, top producers are doing this type of thing. They are sticking to their calendar. They are making sure it happens. And the only way they can continue generating more business is putting time into their calendar to actually bring more business in. Don't forget, we're here every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join me live by registering at the link in the description below and get your questions answered in real time. I love helping you succeed. Thanks for joining me for another Build Your Business with Brittany. Let's keep building, growing, and closing those deals. I'll see you next Thursday at 2 p.m.